I'll give you one that excites me right now, and by the time you've actually edited this interview, it could be all done. But talk about being patient as a value investor. There's a company called Premier Exhibitions. Are you familiar with Premier?
Well, for our viewers, perhaps you could just outline briefly what the
Sure.
company.
Premier Exhibitions is primarily known as the company that actually still puts on Bodies, the exhibition show. A traveling show across the country where they've taken bodies and there's a process that they put to them. They expose the muscle, and it's been a big drawing card. Premier does that. They do a show of Titanic relics, basically a traveling entertainment company. It was a high flyer 3, 4, 5 years ago, $16, $18 a share, lots of promise. Bodies was drawing lots of people. Then they ran into a little bit of trouble. 2020 did an expose on the company saying that the bodies used in these shows may have been obtained from Chinese prisons. Company has maintained that that was never the case, but that sent the shares into a tailspin, and they've never recovered. You can run into a recession. People aren't paying the ticket prices for bodies. So the company took a nosedive. Well, a lot of focus was on that part of the business, the drawing card of revenue from these exhibitions. What wasn't being focused on was the fact that the company also was the salver in possession to the Titanic wreck site and had made several dives to that site, had recovered 5,500 artifacts from that site. That's intriguing to me. So I bought shares fairly, after the whole bodies thing unraveled, in the dollar range and $1.50 range up to probably $2 a share. Knowing that, or thinking that these artifacts have some value. Problem being that, kind of a touchy subject, Titanic, none of the artifacts came from within the ship. They were all from the debris field. So they left the ship itself alone. It's a lot of death and destruction. Leave it alone. But they would bring things up from around the site. Problem was, it wasn't clear who owned these possessions. So the company was in court for years and years and years trying to get a determination about who owned them. In August of 2010, court in Virginia determined that Premier Exhibitions was going to either be awarded the artifacts or a cash award from a judicial sale of the assets. Okay, so that was stock ran up nicely, percentage-wise from that. But the court was going to take another year to decide what it was going to be. We're going to sell them for you, or you get them, and you can do what you want with them, with lots of stipulations, because you can't sell them by quarter. You can't sell them piecemeal. You got to sell the whole collection. You've got to preserve it. You got to make sure that people can view it, because it's a part of our history, part of world history. So August 2011, exactly a year later, court awards Premier title of the artifacts, which was expected, but it now gave them the ability to perhaps do a transaction with these artifacts. In the fall, Premier separates into two divisions: Premier Exhibition Management and RMS Titanic. So you're seeing something being set up here. Something's going to happen. By now, most people have heard, with all the fanfare of the 100th anniversary of the Titanic, the company put the artifacts up for auction. The appraisal value in 2007 was $189 million. Market cap of the company at the time was probably $70 million. Put them up for auction. Stock upticks again. The bids were supposed to be in early April. The auction results were supposed to be announced on April 15th. Well, here we are, what's today, April 26th? The results have yet to be announced. We still don't know. The company's put out press releases that there have been bidders, that they extended the bidding because there was a great deal of interest, but the stock has been trading on the notion that this group of artifacts is going to sell for a great deal in excess of the market cap of the company. So Premier goes from $1.50, $1.75, $3.70, $3.80 in March. When they start to get a little skittish about the auction results, it fell back down to $2.30. So nice run up, third of the value cut back, and here we are, we're still waiting for the results. It's the ultimate value investor's dilemma. You know, these artifacts, there's jewelry, there's a 17-ton piece of the ship, side of the ship, there's teacups, there's paper money, there's all kinds of stuff that have been part of these traveling exhibits, and someone presumably is going to buy them, and you know, there's plenty of people with a lot of money, and that this could be a great ego thing for. I own the Titanic, and I'm gonna take it around and charge people admission, and but we're still waiting for the results. So the ultimate value investor's dilemma is, you know, you've got an asset that's of value, without a doubt. There's a lot of value there, but until someone's going to come up with the cash, until you can convert that asset into cash,